All right, welcome everybody to Physique Nutrition. In this lesson, we're going to be going over protein. Today we're going to be covering what is protein, the process of protein digestion, protein turnover, how to increase protein synthesis, complete versus incomplete protein sources, individual protein requirements, nutrient timing, so when you should be eating your protein throughout the day, protein's effect on our body composition, and safe protein practices. So what is protein? Protein is made up of building blocks, which are called amino acids. So there are 20 of these amino acids that make up human tissue. 9 of these are essential, which means they must be consumed from the diet. When you consume protein, it provides 4 calories per gram, so you're receiving 4 calories of energy per gram of protein consumed. So when you eat protein, it's not as simple as eating the chicken breast and the aminos being readily available. It has to go through some processes in the body first. So when you eat protein, it starts in the stomach. Pepsin starts to break down the peptide bonds and create polypeptides, which are larger chains of these amino acids, which are smaller than the proteins. It then moves to the small intestine, where it's actually broken down into the aminos themselves. From here, it's transported to the liver. Then the liver sends it out through the bloodstream to all of the tissue in the body that needs the protein to repair and recover cells. So protein turnover. Our body is constantly in a state of turning over old cells or damaged cells into new cells and repaired cells. So the process and the rate at which these cells are breaking down is called protein degradation. The rate at which these cells are repaired and created is called protein synthesis. Our net protein balance is the difference between our protein synthesis and our protein degradation. So organ tissue actually it has the most amount of protein degradation. So our organ tissue continuously needs protein as well as muscle tissue. So muscle and organ tissue are continuously degrading, they're continuously breaking down, and we need protein to continue to repair and regenerate new cells. So how to increase protein synthesis. So why that's important to start is increasing protein synthesis increases your net protein balance, increased recovery capacity. So protein alone can cause a stimulation of protein synthesis. In one meal, you want to aim for 20 to 40 grams. Now, exercise can exacerbate this. So that high protein meal can stimulate muscle protein synthesis, and then continuing on a progressive overload training program that will continue to keep that muscle protein synthesis signal high. You want to split up your protein intake evenly throughout the day in these 20 to 40 gram portions. This will give you the most stimulation of muscle protein synthesis, and we can't store amino acids for later use, so we continuously need them in our diet. So all amino acids are necessary for sustained muscle growth. So you need at least 20 grams of protein. That includes all of your essential amino acids to produce muscle growth. So that leads us into complete versus incomplete protein sources. So we said earlier in the lecture that there are 9 essential amino acids. That means those 9 must come from our diet. So a complete protein source is going to be a source that includes all 9 of the essential amino acids. Some examples of this are meat, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy, etc. Incomplete proteins, like plants, they don't have all 9 essential amino acids. So you have to vary your intake across these sources to make sure you're getting all of your essential amino acids. Also, be wary of cheap plant protein powders. A lot of them don't have all 9 essential amino acids. All right, individual protein requirements. This typically ranges between 1 and 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. Some things can change this up, like your body composition. If you carry more body fat, you'll need less protein per pound of body weight. Also, if you're in a deficit, you might be going beyond 1.5 grams of protein per pound. But typically between 1 and 1.5 grams of protein is where you're going to be for a daily consumption amount. So protein and its effects on our body composition. So protein is highly satiating, and out of carbs, proteins, and fats, it requires the most energy to digest and use. So it has the highest thermic effect of food. So Having a high protein diet during a growth phase can reduce the amount of total fat accrual, and having a high protein diet during a cut can retain muscle tissue by stimulating muscle protein synthesis and keeping repair high. So protein safety. Protein has been studied up to 2 grams per kilogram a day for over a year with no negative effects on blood lipids, kidney, liver, or bone mineral density. So in summary, amino acids are the building blocks of protein. There's 20 amino acids and 9 of them are essential. This means they must come from our diet. Protein provides 4 calories per gram. Protein is best eaten in 20 to 40 gram portions split up evenly throughout your day. Our net protein balance is our protein synthesis versus our protein degradation. A high protein diet has a positive effect on body compositions whether you're growing or trying to diet. To maximize muscle protein synthesis, we should be consuming between 1 and 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight.